Just a few years ago, AI was something most of us only saw in sci-fi movies.
Good morning, Theodore.
Morning.
You have a meeting in 5 minutes. You want to try getting out of bed?
But today, it's a driving force behind some of the biggest innovation and continues to grow. But with so many new companies popping up and powerful companies jumping in, it can be really overwhelming to figure out where to put your money. Now, that's why I decided to turn to an unlikely assistant, AI itself. I asked it to dive deep into market trends, crunch the data, and highlight the top 5 AI stocks you need to know about right now before it's too late. Imagine being ahead of the curve, investing in the next big tech player before it makes headlines. These 5 AI stocks might just be your ticket to tapping into the future of innovation and growth. So stick around and enjoy my discussion with my AI assistant Tiara that covers not just the best AI stocks, but also Tiara's criteria for selecting the stocks and risks and considerations you should know before investing.
Stock number 1, NVIDIA. You might know NVIDIA for their gaming graphics cards, but they've become a powerhouse in the AI world. Let's dive into why they're leading the pack. Market cap, $3.306 trillion. PE ratio, 63.253.
Tech PE ratios are usually higher than other industries, but at just over 63, NVIDIA has a lot of momentum already priced into the stock, and investors are betting it's going to go much higher. That said, Tiara did a good job explaining why even with that high of a number, NVIDIA is still worth considering.
NVIDIA's GPUs aren't just for gaming anymore. They're behind training complex AI models, from self-driving cars to natural language processing. Their data center revenue, which includes AI-related sales, has been skyrocketing. In 2024, it grew by 217% compared to the year before.
I think most people know NVIDIA just from their chips, but I never realized just how big the data center revenue is. After doing some research, I found it brought in $47.5 billion for the year. Not too bad for a very small subset of the company.
As of October 2024, NVIDIA is the world's second most valuable company by market cap, surpassing even tech giants like Microsoft. NVIDIA's constantly innovating, developing new chips specifically designed for AI tasks.
I recently read that the CEO of NVIDIA said that the demand for their next Blackwell GPU is insane. And with it expected to cost somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000 per unit, it's guaranteed to give the stock a ton of revenue in the coming years.
Remember, though, that no investment is without risk. NVIDIA's high valuation means investors are expecting continued strong performance, which puts pressure on the company to keep delivering impressive results.
This is definitely a good point. So I own NVIDIA and have for years, and something really interesting is that they far exceeded expectations last quarter. But the stock actually dropped a bit because the growth was assumed and it was already priced in. The next company bought their way into the AI world, and it's interesting how quickly they become a top stock in the area.
Stock number 2, Microsoft. You may know these guys from Windows and Office, but they're not just about spreadsheets anymore. Microsoft is making big moves in the AI world. Market cap, $2.88 trillion. PE ratio, 35.78.
Microsoft has a much more reasonable PE ratio, and they really just bought their way into AI by investing $13 billion into OpenAI, which is the nonprofit behind ChatGPT.
Microsoft Cloud, which includes their AI services, is growing like crazy. It now makes up more than half of Microsoft's total revenue at about $124 billion annually. They've integrated AI into many of their products through Copilot. Imagine having a super smart assistant for everything from writing emails to coding.
As you may have assumed by the channel, yes, I love AI. And personally, I think this really is where AI is going. So as of now, we all have different services to sign up for to use AI. But I think eventually we'll all have our own personal AI assistant, kind of like I do with Tiara in these YouTube videos.
The company is expanding into new areas with AI. For example, Copilot for security could help them grab a bigger slice of the cybersecurity pie. Microsoft's strong position in both consumer and enterprise markets gives them a huge advantage in rolling out AI technologies.
For such a long time, Microsoft has been a really successful company. And I think that when you pair all of their previous work with them jumping on the AI bandwagon, they're going to be an absolute force in the future. Next is a company that, in my opinion, is kind of in an identity crisis, but it is likely that they'll figure out the right path because just of how powerful and profitable they are.
Stock number 3, Alphabet. You may know Google for its search engine, but Alphabet is a major player in the AI game, powering everything from ad algorithms to self-driving cars. Market cap, $2.011 trillion. PE ratio, 23.20. Google Cloud, which includes AI and machine learning services, is growing rapidly. It now accounts for about 10% of Alphabet's total revenue, which makes it a $35 billion product. Alphabet has been using AI to enhance its search engine for years, but it's now making big moves in generative AI with its Gemini model.
Okay, so story time. So here is where I go on and on about my previous life in building websites. So on my channel, I've mentioned that I've done well with building my own businesses before. And those businesses were websites. But just as Tiara has said here, Alphabet is pushing hard on AI and its new Gemini model to create its own AI-generated content and basically cut out all the middlemen publishers that make websites. Now, the worst part, they trained their models on all of the internet, like the websites that I previously built. And now they're creating unique content with that information. Now, you know what myself and thousands of other publishers get for that? 0. So yeah, that's actually why I pivoted to this YouTube channel. It's something I've always wanted to do, and basically Google strong-armed me into doing it. Anyway, Tiara has a good point here, as generative AI content is going to reshape much of the internet as we know it inside of, I'd say probably the next 5 years or so. So get ready for that.
Alphabet is integrating AI across its product suite, from Gmail to Google Maps, enhancing user experience and creating new revenue opportunities. The company's AI research arm, DeepMind, has made significant breakthroughs, including AlphaFold, which can predict protein structures.
Google DeepMind is an artificial intelligence research laboratory that focuses on developing advanced AI systems and has achieved a few different breakthroughs so far. In other words, it's AI on steroids. Next is a company that I feel is just starting to have their AI showcased more and more publicly. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see the use cases that they create, considering they are really more focused on e-commerce.
Stock number 4, Amazon. You know Amazon for its e-commerce empire, but it's also a major player in the AI game, from cloud services to smart home devices. Market cap, $1.834 trillion. PE ratio, 44.72. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is a leader in cloud computing, offering a wide range of AI and machine learning services to its customers. The company's AI efforts extend to its core e-commerce business, powering recommendation engines and logistics optimization.
Recently, you may have noticed on Amazon that you see generalized reviews on Amazon products that give you overarching ideas about what customers are thinking. This is a great example of how they're using AI so far, and I've heard they're going to start putting together product comparisons very soon too, using their AI, which is going to be really interesting to watch.
Amazon's advertising business, which heavily relies on AI for targeting and optimization, has been growing rapidly. Amazon is reportedly developing a new version of Alexa powered by more advanced AI models, potentially revolutionizing the smart home market.
I've heard a lot about this, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So not only are they working on this, but they intend on having their new version of Alexa be an additional revenue stream too, with a subscription model. So who knows exactly how that's going to shape out, or even if it will happen, but it could be a good reason to buy them if you think it'll be big. The next stock is similar to Nvidia, but maybe a company that you haven't even heard of before.
Stock number 5, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. You might not hear about TSMC as often as other chip giants, But this foundry is the backbone of the AI revolution, manufacturing cutting-edge chips for major players in the industry. Market cap, $510.69 billion. PE ratio, 17.21.
It's hard to deny that this is a very reasonable PE ratio that should get you excited. So it's going to be surprising if this number doesn't climb much higher in the very near future as AI continues to grow.
TSMC is the world's largest dedicated semiconductor foundry, producing chips for companies like Apple, Nvidia, and AMD. The company's advanced manufacturing processes are crucial for producing high-performance AI chips.
This is such a good point. So numerous times I've read about why we don't produce chips in the USA. And apparently it's a very difficult thing to do. And you need very skilled labor to do it, which at this point, we really don't have enough of apparently.
The company's dominance in advanced chip manufacturing gives it a strong position in the AI market, as it's the go-to manufacturer for many AI chip designers. TSMC has been investing heavily in expanding its capacity to meet the surging demand for AI chips, with plans to spend $32 billion on capital expenditures in 2024.
Now, this is also a good insight. So this isn't as popular as the other AI stocks on the list, but if they are investing $32 billion into their business, that means that the earnings per share are going to be lower. Now, on the surface, this means many investors might not even, give them a second look. That, and I love how they are diversified across many different chip makers. It's definitely a good place to be. However, as you may have heard, the biggest threat to this company is something totally out of their control, which is China potentially invading Taiwan, which is where they are headquartered. That said, I'd be surprised to see it, only because it's a guarantee that the US would immediately fight China, because this is a very valuable industry and the US needs those chips. Now that you have a list of all these different AI stocks, which I think is actually a pretty good list, I wanted to make sure that we covered exactly how Tiara actually chooses them. So here's what she had to say.
First up, we're looking for companies with a strong AI focus. We're not just talking about slapping AI on a product description. We mean companies that are really walking the walk, investing heavily in AI research and development. Next, we want to see how AI is impacting their bottom line. Are they actually making money from their AI ventures, or is it just a fancy side project?
This makes a ton of sense to me. So as you've seen from this list, even if AI started as a side project, it's really the focus of so many different companies now.
Innovation is key in the fast-moving world of AI. We're looking for companies that are constantly pushing the boundaries, coming up with new AI applications and technologies. Lastly, we consider the company's financial health. A great AI strategy doesn't mean much if the company's drowning in debt, right?
I like the point about looking for companies that are pushing boundaries. I feel like that's a big part of the equation, because the only way that these AI stocks do really well is if they continually push and find new breakthroughs. Speaking of breakthroughs, since you watched this video, you've got to be an investor. And I want to make sure that you check out another video that I did that details the best monthly dividend stocks to buy, which eventually could be something to, maybe cover a car payment or a mortgage or something like that. Anyway, it's a really cool video and you can watch it right here. Or if that doesn't seem like it's something that you'd be interested in, you can watch my most recent video here. Now, before you go, remember to please like this video to encourage YouTube to share it to more people. And as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel to unlock financial success one AI chat at a time. See you in the next one.